Okay, so you're just driving, minding your own business, and bam, that dreaded warning light pops on your Ford's dash with a code, P087B. Yeah, that's never a good feeling, right? But hey, don't panic. We're going to break down exactly what this error means, what's behind it, and most importantly, how you can get it fixed. Let's dive right in.
So, what in the world is a P087B code? Well, the technical jargon is a clutch motor 2 sensor fault. But what that really means in plain English is that your car's brain is screaming that there's a problem with the transmission. It's definitely a serious code. But the good news, it is absolutely fixable.
Knowing the technical definition is one thing, but what does it actually feel like? What are you going to notice when you're sitting in the driver's seat trying to get somewhere? While the biggest, most obvious symptom of a P087B code is that your car will literally stop you from using certain gears. And it's not random either. It's very specific. You'll lose access to reverse, second, fourth, and sixth gear. I mean, that's a huge deal, right? Your car is basically sidelined until you get this figured out. So, what's actually causing this mess? Turns out there are 4 main culprits we need to look at. Think of it like a little investigation. Let's check out each one so you know exactly what to look for, whether you're a DIYer or just want to sound smart when you talk to your mechanic. All right, we're going to dig into each of these 4 possible causes for that P087B code. And, even more important, we'll talk about the specific fix for every single one. This table right here, this is our complete roadmap. The issue could be the clutch motor, maybe some old fluid, bad wiring, or even the transmission's control module. And as you can see, the solution for each one is, well, pretty direct. Now let's break these down one by one.
Okay, first up on our list of suspects, a very common point of failure for this code, a faulty clutch motor.
So this motor, its whole job is to manage how the clutch engages and disengages. If it starts to fail, the transmission can get all jumpy, shift weirdly, or, in our case, just flat out refuse to shift into those specific gears. So if you've done the diagnostics and the clutch motor is the bad guy, the fix is about as straightforward as it gets. You gotta replace it.
But hold on, what if it's not the clutch motor? Before you start tearing into more complex parts, the next stop should always be the simplest and usually the cheapest thing to check. Yep, the fluid.
Just think of transmission fluid as the lifeblood of your transmission. It lubricates everything. If that fluid gets old, dirty, or contaminated, it just can't do its job anymore. That lack of proper lubrication can easily cause the whole system to malfunction and, you guessed it, throw an error code.
Sometimes the solution is just good old-fashioned maintenance. If worn-out fluid is the real problem here, a simple fluid change might be all you need to get things running smoothly again.
Okay, so you've checked the fluid and it looks fine. What now? Well, now we have to think about how all these transmission parts actually talk to each other. And that brings us to the communication network, the wiring.
These wires are the critical link between the transmission and its control module. If they get damaged, frayed, or all corroded over the years, that signal gets broken up. The control module is basically flying blind and it can't manage the transmission properly.
Just like any other broken part, if the wiring is the problem, you'll need to replace the damaged sections to get everything talking again. This is often something you can spot with a quick visual check. Just look for any obvious damage.
All right, we've made it to our last suspect. If the mechanical parts are good, the fluid is fresh, and the wires check out, there's one culprit left, and it's usually the most complex one, the brain of the operation, the transmission control module, or TCM.
This module, it's the computer. It's the command center that controls every single thing the transmission does. So if it goes bad, it can start sending out weird signals or misinterpreting good ones, causing all sorts of chaos, including our P087B code.
Now, because this is often the priciest part on our list, it's usually the last thing you'd want to replace. But if all the other signs point to the TCM itself, then the only solution is to swap out that faulty module for a new one.
Phew, okay. We've walked through the definition, the symptoms, and the 4 main causes, from the simple stuff to the more complex. So let's wrap this all up. So here's the bottom line. That P087B code, yeah, it's serious, but it is absolutely solvable. The problem is going to be one of those 4 things we just talked about. The real key to getting your Ford back on the road is just figuring out which one of them is the actual culprit.
And that leaves you with one big question. Which of these 4 potential issues is the one affecting your Ford? Start with the simple checks first. Get a proper diagnosis, and you'll have your answer and your fix.